Welcome back to Digi Bros, everybody.
Whoa, we're the Digi Bros.
We just ate food and failed to come up with any new topic for the show, so this could be another episode of us floundering around and
floundering like a big old flounder fish.
Yes, like we have eyes on one side of our face and not on the other side of our face. Oh man.
Oh, zippity doodah.
We've become distant from
talking about the
society,
game sucking,
from life, from real life. You know, we've succumbed to the feeling of not existing. In
I wake
reality.
up every day, like at 9:30, and then I go back to sleep for 3 hours because I have nothing to do. It blows my mind.
That is disgusting.
Every time I'm just like, well, I'm up. There's nothing to do. I might as well sleep so the day goes by faster, and that's what I do every day.
That is the saddest, literally the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I have no motivation to get up. It's just like, what is there? What am I doing today? I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for fucking ever. My life is in a fucking nexus. I'm just waiting for these fucking grad schools forever. This is all I do. I just sit around and wait for the weekend where I'll hang out with Hope or something, and I do nothing. I play, what? I'm trying to play Dark Souls 2? How desperate is that? I was waiting for the new Fire Emblem, just sitting around waiting. Just like, oh, well, that'll be something to do. I'm just waiting for each new fucking video game with nothing to do in between, and I'm so fucking unmotivated. I can't write anything. It's just like, oh, this sucks. I'm just in limbo, man.
Didn't you, like, just make a whole thing?
What?
Like, you've been working for, like, most of last week, weren't you?
That was on this stupid commercial. Dude.
That was a thing you did?
Yeah, but like, who cares, man? I just worked on a shitty commercial. It's not like there's a fun story. I don't know. I didn't, like, think enough about it.
It was like a whole, like, week.
I feel like, every time I do a new thing, the story is the same. I went and I shot a commercial. Very clean. I did have an idea, based on the commercial, now that I'm remembering. Okay.
Oh my god.
So, during this commercial, what am I doing? Am I still... Whatever, let's do this now. Alright. So, this commercial was it's a commercial for some kind of credit union, and the commercial was about, like, a couple is having a baby, they go to the store, and they use their credit card to buy, paint, and they paint the walls of their baby's room. And I got to thinking about the concept of the baby room, because we didn't have baby rooms when we were little because we moved all the time.
That's like
we didn't have the whole
we didn't have like the
blue
whole
painted room
thing,
and it's painted blue because it's for a boy. We didn't have all that shit. Maybe we had a crib, but we didn't have baby rooms, right?
We definitely had cribs.
Yeah, I mean we had a crib.
I think we had a crib.
Yes.
Of us, or at least that being.
Because Shade had a baby room.
Shade had a baby room, kind of.
But he only had it for so long before we moved.
Right. I mean, he wasn't a baby anymore when we moved.
I was thinking, about the baby, because it's one of those things where you're always like, what the fuck is the point of this? The baby can't fucking comprehend his room for what?
He didn't have a pre-prepared baby room. It was like because he was
did
already...
the Pooh Bear stickers and shit?
Yeah, but it wasn't it wasn't before he was born.
Oh, so he was already born. Oh, yeah, because we lived in a different house.
He was born in the previous house.
Yeah, so we had a retroactive baby room that only lasted for, like, I guess it was, like, 4 years.
He would have been at least, like, 6 months old by the time we moved into that house.
Either way, he had somewhat of a baby
room. And we would have had to very steadily build that baby room around that, so... Yeah, I mean, he was into Winnie the Pooh, we put up Pooh stickers. Like, that's... Yeah.
But I was thinking about the environment you grow up in, and I've been wondering if people who might have grown up in a really colorful environment with the baby room that evolved into, like, this, they always had colored walls and things, would they be more positive people growing up in that atmosphere, whereas we were always in, like, sort of dark, dingy scenarios, like, even our rooms now always feel really dark and, like, white walls. I am not what are you talking? Maybe we are now. I mean, like, as teenagers. Were we positive teenagers, Conrad?
Do you think okay, like, your thoughts on this
going
are
for, like, a
so
general mood.
Amazingly speculative.
It's just an idea.
Like you looked at colors and you went, I wonder if this might make people better, with no evidence whatsoever to the idea that it would make people better.
Well, I have a friend...
Like, it's pure conjecture.
My friend Christy, I went to her house once, and it's just, like, colors fucking everywhere. And she's, like, one of the most positive people I've met, and she lives in a very colorful house, and it kind of makes sense with her personality. And so it's, like... I was thinking, I wonder if that has a contributing factor, like the environment.
Could it
always
possibly
kind of being
be
bright and colorful.
that really positive parents like their things to be colorful, and that it's really just that she has
Maybe
positive
that's it.
parents?
It was just a thought, you know? Food for thought,
Yeah.
speculation.
Correlation does not denote causation.
It was just an idea, because, you know, the baby room is a thing. I wonder if people who had baby rooms grow up differently from the people who didn't, you know? I like to think about those kinds of things.
I don't know.
Nature
I feel,
versus nurture.
I can't help but feel like it's
What the fuck? This is bullshit.
I can't help but feel like baby rooms are nothing but a gigantic marketing gimmick by home decor.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's definitely a gimmick.
Like, it definitely feels like it's just people, because, like...
It's that ultimate fucking American dream white man lifestyle where it's,
Well,
oh, we're having a baby and we're wealthy.
I think it's
Let's have a
very,
baby
it's very
room."
pop sci, like,
Uh-huh.
like,
What the fuck? This is impossible.
Or did I just throw out buzzwords that made
Yeah,
no sense to
you did.
Okay.
I just kind of used my context clues and was like, it's probably,
Pop-
you know...
Pop science and pop psychology.
Yeah.
Like, where, like, because, you know, psychology is a fairly new field. It's not
Yeah.
something we've had an understanding for a super long time, like maybe 100 years or so. And at some point, people's general, the popular idea of what psychology is looking back into your childhood and seeing which specific things might have made you who you are today.
Yeah.
You know, even though, again, correlation doesn't necessarily denote causation, and that's not really what psychology is. You know,
I know. I just think that's
really
really
about, like,
interesting
looking
to
at-
think about, and I have
Right.
studied into that before, and like I do kind of like lately I've been trying to make my room a little like when I have pink backgrounds on my phone and shit, just because it's more colorful and it gives you more of an uplifting feel.
I do agree that your mindset is, you know, related to the way that your surroundings look.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't deny that. And maybe having the baby room is definitely like, you know, kid
'Cause when
tested, mother
when I think
approved.
back of
like,
my memories of childhood, it's
doctor
always like
approved
these
better.
fucking like
Dingy
dark
places,
rooms. Yeah, it's always like this dirty, dark atmosphere. Except for like
I just
maybe a
think
couple
that-
places, you know.
I mean, maybe it has, like, the possibility of helping with who you become, but I can't help the feeling that, like, because it's so much in the popular consciousness that like, the way you are as a baby, like, every minute detail of it is going to shape who you are, so everything must be absolutely perfect when you're a baby so that you can be perfect when you grow
Now,
up.
I don't think it
like,
matters when you're a baby. I think it matters from the point where you become aware of yourself onward. Like, as a baby, I think it's probably completely irrelevant because you can't comprehend anything. Why would it fucking matter?
Yeah, but it can still affect your mood. It's kind of like a plant doesn't understand why it wants the sun, but it grows in the direction of the sun, you know?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe a baby...
That's assuming that plants don't know what they want.
That's true. It's very assumptive.
You don't know shit about plants.
All these people trying to say that fucking... When I ran on that plant rant, people are all like, they don't have a central nervous system and they don't feel the way that we... I'm like, you don't... Like, look, maybe
You don't
there's
know
something...
that. What if they have a soul, dude?
What if
their
there's something
soul
about
hurts?
plants that we literally cannot comprehend?
Yes.
Like there's something about them that is beyond what science can figure out.
We can't even see all the colors, man. How are we supposed to know about plants?
Exactly. You know? My approach to everything is the Lovecraftian, cosmic horror approach. That there's things that we just don't understand and never can comprehend, you know? And that no amount of science will ever teach us because we are just not capable of perceiving them.
Shit,
And,
dude.
for all we know, that could be true of plants. I mean... Obviously, people are going to be
Hey,
like, that's
bitch.
not going to factor into how I think about the world, but, like,
Yeah.
that's a choice you're making. It's not a moral truth of the universe. You've decided that you don't care enough about what unknowable mysteries there are about plants to decide that you don't want to eat them, you know?
Dare I say, environmental aesthetics might have a factor on your mood.
You just wanted to say aesthetics.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out the meaning of that sentence.
For instance, your enjoyment of a beverage can be enhanced by the look of the beverage. Me and Hope are just talking about this because we both like, you know, nice looking bottles and shit.
Right.
And I was saying because we like this like melon flavored
Melon.
fruity drink that we get from the Japanese mart, J Mart, and it has a very appealing can. And literally,
It does. That's
like,
why I bought it.
Exactly.
When we went out.
That's why you bought it.
It
Because
didn't taste
It looks
good.
nice. Exactly. It doesn't taste great. It's just sugar. Like all that's in it is sugar. It's just high fructose corn syrup in carbonated water, and that's all it fucking is. But the fact that it looks nice makes it more enjoyable. Whereas if I went to, like, Grand Mart, the Asian grocery store, there's lots of really sketchy looking shit.
Yeah.
And it tastes the same, but that's so much sketchier, you know?
Japanese know how to do marketing a lot better.
It tastes bad because it looks like shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Boom. Boom. I need more ammo.
There's a video I did. This is so funny to me. Like, when people respond to videos and, like, don't get that things look the way on camera because they're on camera, like, that things don't necessarily look the same in real life. But, I've had a lot of videos where the lighting on me looked kind of depressing, and people interpreted the video as depressing because of it and stuff like that.
Ooh, Blitz Cannon.
And there's one video I did where it was called Thoughts About My Art or something like that. It's on Digi, bro, after dark. But I was sitting in a chair right over there underneath my light, like directly under my light.
Yeah.
And the camera was like super wide angle. So it was like a really weird shot for a vlog, because most vlogs are tight angle and like close on your face. This was like I was not even the central focus of the frame. Like it was a super wide shot and really weird downcast lighting. And the subject matter of it was kind of not really depressing, but very moody. You know, it was like me talking about like the pressures that I feel as an artist and that kind of stuff. And
shit.
And so there were a bunch of people who responded to it saying things like, you know, like the fact that, like, they were basically saying that because I was in such a dark room, it could be affecting my mood. That like maybe I should get some more lighting in here, and, like, make it. And it's like, guys, okay. I mean, I don't think that's completely wrong. My room is definitely very dark.
Yeah.
But, like, all of my good moods are also experienced in this room.
Yeah.
All of my happy times are in this room, just as my sad times are. And it's just that the way I filmed that video, the light was downcast on my face, and it cast a lot of shadows. So it looked really dark, you know? Whereas, like, there's other videos I filmed in the same room that don't look nearly as dark, you know? Granted, it is a dark room, but, like, I don't know, like, I've always said that I think that the advantage of my room being dark is that if it was bright, I wouldn't be able to handle the visual stimulus, because there's posters everywhere.
Yeah.
There's, like,
which is part of why, like, I control the light in my room a lot.
Yeah. Well, your room just gets, because your room's small, so, like, when you have all the lights on, it gets, like, super fucking bright. It's, like, hard to even see. But, yeah, in my room, there's so much detail everywhere because there's so many posters and so many toys and, like, things sitting around and just, you know, like, when it's bright, when I have all these, like, lights on when I'm filming and stuff, the level of detail in the room distracts me and it becomes, like, hard to deal with. So, I don't know. I have had the thought that, like, maybe I should make my room brighter. Maybe it would make it feel like less of a dour basement, but maybe it would also feel like a candy flipping nightmare. You know, I kind of enjoy. I think I've said this before, but I kind of enjoy losing my mind.
Yes.
I enjoy those times where, like, you just kind of feel so isolated that you go off the deep end, which is pretty much the Jesse Wood state of mind.
Yeah.
Like, the reason that Jesse's videos are the way they are, and the reason that he's always, like, losing it so much, is that he's very lonely, and he's in a room by himself, and he never gets to see his friends, you know? Like, he never gets to hang out with people. He's always just in his basement. He hates his family, so he'll just be down there where there's no windows in his basement, because he's literally in a basement, you know? So, like, he's just down there in this dark,
the rest of the world
oppressive environment, surrounded by an endless number of posters, losing his mind. But he likes it because he creates a lot of great art out of losing his mind.
Yes.
Like, a lot of his videos come from a place of legitimate, like, intense, like, loneliness and feelings of claustrophobia and shit, you know? And sometimes I can get into that mood when, like, I don't see anybody for a few days, and I really, like, let the darkness of my room sink in, and it's like, oh, I am... But then I also wonder, if it was bright in here, would it turn into, like, a nightmare scenario and be even scarier? Like, if I was constantly surrounded by anime characters on all sides that were brightly lit and I could see them at all times, would I lose my mind?
To the side? It's so annoying.
And the person who I feel like
Shit, dude.
I've talked before on here about Nerdwriter and how like I feel like his editing is so good.
Yeah.
But I also feel like he has that like really like I feel like he's the kind of guy who has tailored his lifestyle to be positive.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You see his room and it's like, looks really nice.
His room is
it's so clean,
so minimal and so clean, and his computer is literally right in front of 3 huge open windows.
Yeah.
It's like 3 giant windows cascading an endless source of sunlight directly onto him. And he's on like this, you know, this nice MacBook Pro, very sleek, or not MacBook, but a Mac Pro.
Yeah.
You know, very sleek, very clean desk, very clean room, very rustic. The walls are all colored. There's no like, you know, just stark white walls or anything. I'm like, this guy clearly wants to have that office environment of like that I'm working in a good place and feeling good about myself, you know.
Yes.
Could be why it's so hard for like my friends to relate to Nerdwriter. Like guys like Jesse don't get the videos at all because they see it as he has no personality, which is kind of fair.
Oh my god.
He doesn't have. You watch Nerdwriter. He doesn't have much personality.
He's just pretty white.
Yeah, he's just. I mean, he's just like a really like wants the world to be a good place.
Yeah.
Is his personality.
Right, I'm gonna get this in the next try. I'm getting real close.
You know that his name, Nerdwriter, is in reference to the Nerd Fighters.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah, like the Vlogbrother Nerd Fighter thing. That's why it's just like a pun on that. But yeah, he's like a big fan of the Vlogbrothers and like part of that Nerd Fighter movement. And I can tell he's the kind of guy who, because I believe the ethos of the Nerd Fighters is just to make the world better.
Yeah,
like,
they're
that's
like
their thing.
They're nerds who also do charity.
Yeah,
like that's the idea.
So I feel like he's the kind of guy who would really be into the Nerd Fighter like mentality. You know?
I guess that kind of makes sense now that you know.
Yeah.
Now that you said it.
So I feel like that's who he is, and his knowledge of, I was saying, like, I almost see him as like a robot who does nothing but consume and interpret art, because his range of knowledge is so broad. He just did like a hardcore music analysis today, and I was like, how do you know so much about so many different things? Like, where do you find time to be so intimately into so many different subjects, you know? Like, I can barely get out anime and games, and like, and I do have a lot of knowledge of music, but like, that's pretty much where I start and end, is anime, games, music, and some film. Like, I know about film, but mostly secondary. I don't watch a lot of movies. I just watch a lot of people who watch movies.
Oh my god, right, the biggest problem in the universe, and fucking Maddox is talking about Charlie Chaplin, and I was like,
that was amazing.
Don't ever talk about films again, you fucking idiot. You are so uneducated, you dipshit.
I love how how Dick Masterson was like, are you really, as a satirist, going to shit on Charlie Chaplin?
One of like
the greatest satirist of all time.
You learn about Chaplin first in any film class, you know,
right.
And he's thinking of Chaplin as like, oh, history doesn't recognize, you know, doesn't take comedians seriously. I'm like, he is. What? It's one of the mega classics.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. He definitely
so goofy.
had no perspective.
I was like, oh my god, this guy's never learned anything about film history at all.
No.
Oh man, Chaplin's great.
I'm
not gonna
wasn't that
be a pleb and
no, I'm not thinking
say
of
that
Chaplin.
like I've seen more Chaplin than I have.
Right. What was the guy, the comedy dude who Every Frame of Painting did that video on?
Oh, that was Buster Keaton.
Right, Buster Keaton. Yeah, that's like same difference. Like,
another thing,
clearly highly respected comedian.
Highly respected comedian, pushed the envelope for film, you know.
Right.
Like the first editing tricks were Chaplin. Like all the foundation of film is right there in Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, Maddox had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. It was pretty funny. What episode was that? Was that in the bonus episode?
It was
what was the subject?
One of the newest ones. I don't know.
I don't remember what it was about that came up, but it was
another thing we talk about on this show: Game Grumps, food, Dark Souls, and the biggest problem in the universe.
We don't talk about Game Grumps that much. We usually just reference them in passing because
I guess
we do things that they do. Although I wanted to clarify, because at the start of the last episode, you were because at the end of the first episode, I made a joke that what we were doing was no better than the Game Grumps I was just complaining about, and then you said the same thing at the start of the next episode. But you don't know how bad these new ones have been. And I gotta tell you, because this was the moment that happened
Shitting
that made
on
me
'em.
think, oh my god, we have to do something. Because the latest Shovel Knight came out. This will be a few days. It was episode 12. So for those who are listening in the future, which is when this will come out. Episode 12 of Shovel Knight, at the beginning, Dan is explaining that he's been doing like an hour of vocal exercises before each session, and that it's been helping him out with the session. But he explains this by saying nonstop for 3 minutes, and almost nothing else. He was just like, yeah, I've been doing vocal exercises for like that.
God.
And I was just like, Dan, but I could tell it's because he can't do co-op.
Oh shit!
Dan cannot play a game and come up with an idea at the same time. Like, he's incapable, you know? So, like, clearly he was trying to learn the controls of the game because it had been a few days since they played, and he was trying to remember them, and he's trying to explain this, but I'm just like, Dan, you're literally saying that you did an hour of vocal exercises to prepare you for this, and yet you're saying for 5 fucking minutes straight, and then discussing nothing throughout the episode, you know? And there was a point in there where they were so out of things to say that Aaron just started, like, humming to himself. Like, obviously not thinking about it, but he was just like, you know, they're playing, and he's just like,
That's
like, guys,
me level
guys,
shit.
come on. You guys are like clearly not paying any fucking attention and don't give a fuck any, like, about, like, you're not trying to put on a good show right now.
Yes.
Or you're trying, but you don't even realize you're failing, you know? So that was when...
That's hilarious.
That particular line, just thinking about him doing an hour of vocal warm-ups and then saying for 15 fucking minutes. I was like, I can't believe you. How have you reached this low, Dan? Come on. I love you, Dan. I stick up for you every day.
I'm out of fucking ammos. With my best
And before anybody accuses me of anything, I spend a lot of time defending Game Grumps. So if I'm saying it's bad, then you know I mean it.
This motherfucker has
I'm not
watched way
saying
too
this
much
to be
Game
a
Grumps.
dick. I watch every episode of the show. I get into long arguments about why I think it's good and why I think Dan adds to the show.
Oh shit!
But,
I have 1 hit left. I hope they don't make me fight the B2 Brawler. Oh shit! Wait, yes, I got my health back.
Brawler.
Yeah!
Alright, next time on Digi.
Oh god, there's still more. Holy shit!
We don't have to do all of this.
No, I'm loving this.
Alright, next time on Digi Bros, more of this, I guess.